Vince McMahon, the billionaire architect of modern wrestling, stands accused of running a sex trafficking operation from WWE headquarters. In January 2024, former WWE employee Janelle Grant filed a bombshell lawsuit accusing McMahon of sexual assault and trafficking. Grant alleges McMahon made her employment contingent on sexual relationships with him and other WWE executives. The lawsuit claims he trafficked her as a pawn to secure talent deals and used sex toys named after WWE performers to groom her. The most disturbing allegation involves a June 2021 incident where Grant claims McMahon and John Laurinaitis sexually assaulted her in WWE's headquarters, with one saying no means yes during the attack. McMahon signed Grant to a $3 million NDA, but stopped payments after $1 million. The scandal forced his immediate resignation from WWE and triggered a federal criminal investigation. In May 2025, co-defendant Laurinaitis flipped and agreed to testify against McMahon. The case has expanded to include allegations of systematic abuse of young boys in the 1980s and 1990s, making this potentially the biggest scandal in wrestling history. Number 2, plane ride from hell. Following WWE's 2002 London event, a chartered flight home became the scene of one of wrestling's most infamous scandals. Hours of delays led to massive alcohol consumption and complete chaos at 30,000 feet. Curt Hennig and Brock Lesnar had a real fight that nearly sent them through the emergency exit. Goldust serenaded his ex-wife over the plane's PA system. Most seriously, Ric Flair was accused of exposing himself to flight attendants and forcing them to touch his genitals. Flight attendants Terilyn Campanello and Heidi Doyle filed a 2004 lawsuit detailing sexual harassment. WWE quickly settled out of court, but the damage was done. Hennig and Scott Hall were immediately fired, while Flair faced no punishment as a made man in the company. The incident exposed wrestling's toxic culture and forced WWE to implement stricter conduct policies. Number 3, Owen Hart wrongful death lawsuit. On May 23, 1999, wrestling witnessed its darkest moment ever when Owen Hart plummeted 78 feet to his death during WWE's Over the Edge pay-per-view. Hart was supposed to comedically fall from his harness, but the equipment catastrophically malfunctioned. The tragedy resulted from WWE's cost-cutting decisions. Instead of using experienced riggers, they hired a cheaper company. The harness was designed for dragging stunt performers behind cars, not suspending humans. Most critically, the release mechanism was a sailboat clip designed to open under just 6 pounds of pressure. WWE's controversial decision to continue the show after Hart's death became a central issue in the wrongful death lawsuit filed by his widow Martha. After 18 months of legal warfare, WWE settled for $18 million in November 2000. The case revealed WWE had no stunt coordinator, Hart had no training for the stunt, and multiple safety warnings were ignored. Martha Hart maintains WWE was directly responsible for her husband's preventable death. Number 4, federal steroid trial. The scandal that nearly destroyed WWE began with Dr. George Zahorian, who supplied steroids to 37 WWE wrestlers from 1984 to 1989, shipping them directly to WWE headquarters. On November 18, 1993, Vince McMahon was indicted on federal conspiracy charges that could have sent him to prison for 11 years. With WWE's future hanging in the balance, Linda McMahon took control while her husband was preparing for trial. The July 1994 trial featured testimony from Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and others. The prosecution's key witness was Kevin Nails Wakals, who claimed McMahon pressured him to use steroids. However, Wakals' credibility crumbled when he admitted he hated McMahon. On July 22, 1994, the jury found McMahon not guilty on all charges, saving WWE from potential bankruptcy and forever changing how the wrestling industry handles performance-enhancing drugs. Number 5, Saudi Arabia hostage situation. WWE's controversial Saudi partnership reached a crisis point after Crown Jewel 2019. A financial dispute between Vince McMahon and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over unpaid fees turned a routine flight home into an international incident. According to witness testimony, McMahon cut the live TV feed over late payments, enraging the Crown Prince. While McMahon and top stars escaped on private jets, 175 WWE personnel were detained at Riyadh Airport for hours. Wrestlers described it as a hostage situation, with flight attendants saying someone doesn't want us to leave the country. The incident forced major last-minute changes to SmackDown and became part of an investor lawsuit against WWE. The crisis highlighted the risks of WWE's $450 million Saudi deal amid human rights concerns. Number 6. Individual wrestler legal battles. Brock Lesnar trafficking allegations. WWE's most dominant athlete became embroiled in the McMahon scandal when the amended Janelle Grant lawsuit explicitly named him as a participant in a trafficking scheme. Grant alleges that McMahon trafficked her to the former UFC heavyweight champion and WWE superstar for sexual encounters as part of business dealings. The allegations have effectively ended Lesnar's WWE career, with the company reportedly keeping him off television since the lawsuit emerged. His involvement represents one of the biggest falls from grace in wrestling history. Hulk Hogan's legal wars. The Hulkster fought multiple high-profile battles, including his $140 million victory against Gawker Media over a sex tape, later settled for $31 million. The case was secretly funded by billionaire Peter Thiel and bankrupted Gawker. Earlier, Hogan unsuccessfully sued WCW and Vince Russo for defamation after a worked photo shoot in 2000. He also settled with comedian Richard Belzer after accidentally injuring him on live TV in 1985, with Belzer using the settlement to buy a French home he named Shea Hogan. CM Punk versus Dr. Chris Amon. After Punk accused WWE's doctor of medical malpractice on a 2014 podcast, claiming misdiagnosis of a life-threatening staph infection, Dr. Amon sued for $4 million. The 2018 trial revealed damaging evidence against WWE's medical practices, including unlogged antibiotic treatments and ignored concussion protocols. Punk won completely, but the case destroyed his friendship with Colt Cabana, who later sued Punk over unpaid legal fees. Jesse Ventura pioneered wrestlers' rights by successfully suing for video royalties in 1991. David Schultz cost WWE over $400,000 after slapping 2020 reporter John Stossel in 1984. Permanently damaging his hearing and ending Schultz's WWE career.
But, Kurt and Brock got the tussle on and went into the emergency door, which obviously,
I woke up, they're like, oh my God, and Flair had his cock out, and this is not, and this. I'm like, I'm glad I missed that one.
I'm the guy who took down Brock Lesnar at 35,000